This is for Algebra 2, and it's talking about polynomials. Remember that a monomial is one term. It does not have a plus or a minus. Polynomial is two or more terms. When you are adding polynomials, you're just going to be combining like terms. Remember, to be like terms, you got to have the same letter with the same exponent. 3x squared and 4x are not like terms. 3x squared and 7x squared are. When subtracting polynomials, you're going to have to distribute a -1 to the second polynomial, and then you're going to combine like terms. When you combine like terms, you do not change the exponent. 3x squared plus 5x squared, 3 plus 5 is 8, but it stays x squared. You don't mess with that exponent. If there is a number in front of the parentheses, 3 times x plus 1, you're going to distribute the 3 times everything in there or multiply. 3x plus 3. So, we have an addition problem. Be careful because they're not always given in the right order. 7y squared pairs up with -4y squared. 12y doesn't pair up with anything. -5 goes with -3. And then that poor little 6x is all by itself. So 7y squared plus a -4y squared is 3y squared. 12y does not pair up, so you just bring it down. -5 plus a -3 is a -8, and then that 6x comes down. That's your solution. When you are, we're still adding. When we add this one, 18y squared goes with -3y squared. 11y goes with 15y. And -6 goes with -3. So 18 plus a -3 is going to be 15y squared. 11 plus 15 is going to be plus 26y. And -6 plus -3 is -9. Now we're subtracting. You got to remember your leave change opposite that you learned from Mrs. Buffkin. You leave the first one alone. So 6x squared minus 3x plus 2 is good. You change this middle one to a plus, and you use the opposite for everything in the second one. So it's minus 4x squared minus x plus 3. Now you just find your like terms to combine. Get your x squareds together, get your x's together, get your constants together. 6x squared minus 4x squared is 2x squared. -3x minus x is -4x. And 2 plus 3 is plus 5. Same thing. Leave the first one alone. 12y squared minus 8y minus 3. Change to plus and then the opposite for everything in the second one. Minus 15y plus 7y squared plus 8. Find your like terms. 12y squared plus 7y squared is 19y squared. -8y minus 15y is minus 23y. And -3 plus 8 is plus 5. When you have a number in front, you're going to distribute. Remember that you will multiply the big numbers. You will add the exponents. So 2 times 7 is 14. X times x squared is x to the third. Plus 2 times 12 is 24. X times y is xy. Minus 2 times 5 is 10. And don't lose your x. Same thing, we're distributing again. Multiply the big, add the little. 3 times 2 is 6. X times y squared is xy squared. Minus 3 times 11 is 33. X times y is xy. Minus 3 times 9 is 27. Don't lose your x. This takes you to your assignment for polynomials. Come see me during speed if you have questions. So a polynomial is a monomial or a sum of monomials. And when you're looking at them, they can be classified based on how many terms it has. Now remember that your terms are split up with either a plus or a minus. So an example 5/2 x squared y to the third. There is no plus or minus. There's only one term. So this is a monomial. 4x squared minus 9x has two terms. This is a term and this is a term. So it is a binomial. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1 has three terms and is a trinomial. 3a to the fourth b plus 7bc squared plus 6cd minus 8 has four or more terms, and that is referred to as a polynomial. So the special names are just if it's 1, 2, or 3 terms. The degree of a polynomial is going to be looking at the exponents, and it is the term, not that you can read that, with the highest degree. Okay, so you find the degree of each term, and then you get the biggest one, and that's going to be the degree of the whole thing. So, for example, the degree of this term is 5. And the way you find the degree of the term is you add the exponents. So 2 plus 3 gives you 5. There's only one term, so the degree of the whole thing has to be the same. On 4x squared minus 9x, your first term has a degree of 2, and the second one has a degree of 1, because that's like 9x to the first. So the biggest of those is 2. On the next one, you have 2x squared, so that's 2, plus 3x, which is 1, plus 1. There is no x, and so its degree is 0. The biggest of those is 2, so the degree of the entire polynomial is also 2. On 3a to the fourth b, you're going to have 5, plus 7bc squared is going to be 3, plus 6cd is going to be 2, minus 8 is going to be 0. 5 is the biggest one. Okay, so when you're using operations and you're simplifying polynomials with addition, subtraction, and multiplication, you got to distribute to get rid of any of your parentheses, and then you're going to combine like terms using the properties of algebra that you've always used. Basically, you're just find like terms, use the signs they have. So let's just look at an example. The first thing you have to do here is distribute this 2 to get rid of those parentheses. Now there's nothing in front of the first set of parentheses, so they're not doing anything, and you can just rewrite without the parentheses. So negative 4x squared minus 3xy plus 5y squared. Now distribute your 2. 2 times 3x squared is plus 6x squared. 2 times negative 3xy is minus 6xy. And then 2 times negative 5y squared is minus 10y squared. So then you have your x squareds that are going to cancel. You have your x, not cancel, but combine. Your xy's that are going to combine. And then you have your y squareds that will combine. So negative 4x squared plus 6x squared is 2x squared. Done with those. Negative 3xy minus 6xy is minus 9xy. Done with those. Plus 5y squared minus 10y squared is minus 5y squared, and that is your answer. Once again, your first set of parentheses is not doing anything, so you just bring down your 3x squared plus 6xy minus 7y squared. Then this negative distributes and you change all signs, and so plus x squared minus 5xy plus 2y squared. So your x squareds are going to combine, your xy's are going to combine, your y squareds combine. So 3x squared plus x squared is 4x squared. I'm done with those. 6xy minus 5xy is plus xy. Done with those. And negative 7y squared plus 2y squared is minus 5y squared. And that is your answer. Okay, so that's all for Polynomials Day 1. You're ready to start your assignment.